Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger, and unfortunately we do need to come to you now with a tornado warning that was just issued for Beaufort County around the Aurora area. This is the cell again that we have our eyes on. It's going to be moving essentially up towards the northwest, heading towards Bath. Now again, this has not been confirmed as a tornado. What we essentially have is a rotating system that could potentially produce a tornado. This is radar indicated rotation. What we are likely to see again is potentially flying debris around that center. But for right now, again, we do not have a confirmed tornado, just a radar indicated center of rotation. Now this is around 22 miles northeast of James City. It's moving north at about 20 miles an hour. So for those of you around Royal and South Creek and Aurora Ferry Terminal, you guys need to be aware that this system again is heading in your direction. This is the system itself going to be moving over the Pamlico Sound, or excuse me, the Pamlico River. Pamlico Sound, Pamlico River, once it again clears Aurora. Let's get a better look at exactly what we've got with this system. If we can put that into motion, unfortunately that is not what I'm trying to do, but that actually gets it into motion. We'll take a look at your storm relative velocity to get a better idea of exactly how much rotation is currently associated with this low. Right now, again, there is there it is, that spot. That's exactly what we are looking for when we are trying to, again, determine whether or not we have rotation. This is that zone. Again, classic look at a potential tornado. Right now it's that bright spot of red, very close to that bright spot of green that is indicating that potential spin in the atmosphere. Now there you can clearly see where South Creek Road is. This is a system that right now is most likely rolling over Highway 33 as we speak. So for those of you on the north side of Highway 33, do get into your safe spot now. Aurora, you guys should be clear of this system, but again, you are included within that zone, so do want to highlight exactly what we are looking at. Now, the National Weather Service said that this is a storm moving 20 miles an hour. We're going to put it out to around 24-25 miles an hour, assuming a faster movement speed. That way you guys can get a little bit of a lead time on getting into your safe spot. So for those of you in Campbell Creek, expect this system rolling over you at around 8:31. Fairly soon. Time on the clock is 8:30. You need to be in your safe spot as we speak. Rest Haven, time of arrival potentially around 8:53. For Bath, potentially right around 9 to 9:05. Right now, math given at 9:04. So for those of you in Bath, now is the time to start getting prepared to get into your safe spot. The good news, whenever we're talking about these tornadic systems out of tropical systems, they tend to be fairly short-lived. Now what can happen is these storms can come down out of the sky, touch down, and then lift back up again, move a little ways, and then touch back down. So this is one we're going to need to keep a very close eye on moving forward over the next few hours. But again, right now, active tornado warning for Beaufort County. This will go until 9 a.m. Right now, 8:31 on the clock. And again, let's highlight again more of those areas that need to be aware of this system. Beckwith, time of arrival around 9:11. Boyd's Fork, 9:17. And again, those of you watching near Campbell Creek, stay in your safe spot. If you're watching on the eastern side of Aurora, I would get into your safe spot. Western side, you guys are probably going to be clear of this circulation. But right now, those of you on the eastern side of Aurora, this is going to be passing right by you. We don't know for sure whether or not we do have a tornado on the ground, but the fact that we have a warning means that you should be prepared for a tornado on the ground. I'm going to zoom the picture out a little bit further, and we'll actually put this into motion for you so you can see exactly how fast the system is moving. And again, I'm going to zoom it back in. I know it just zoomed out, but the latest runs there, you can kind of see the red slowly starting to fade a little bit, and that we call it a couplet, those red marks and green marks coming together. It's a nice couplet, two things hanging out, essentially holding hands. Is starting to again broaden out, and that is a good sign. That is a sign of a weakening circulation. So with this, we're going to continue to keep an eye on it. We want that green to get fainter, and we want that red to I'll get a little bit brighter, but extend outwards away from that green. That indicates, again, broadening rotation, and that is a positive sign. But for now, again, still very clear. We've got at least broad rotation in the atmosphere. And like I mentioned earlier, we can see broad rotation tighten back up and put down potentially a second tornado, assuming one has already touched the ground. That is an assumption. This is, again, a radar indicated tornado. Dustin, do we have any information from the National Weather Service on any other cells or anything special about this one that they saw that really prompted them to go with the tornado warning?
Not seeing anything there, Charlie. Like you mentioned there, it's moving at the northeast about to 20 miles an hour, so a pretty quick moving storm moving up towards portions of James City. This is where it was located near Royal, outside of that area. So again, it's moving, continuing its speed up there, and like we mentioned, there's no indication that it was on scene, but again, radar was there. And again, this storm will be near Royal and South Creek right now, and then again, it's approaching Aurora Ferry Terminal around 8:40. And again, other locations impacted by this tornadic storm include Aurora and Sydney Crossroads. So really, that's all the updates we have for you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Dustin.
Yeah.
Again, here is a look at that tornado warning. Those of you watching in Bath should be aware that while this system may not reach you with its tornadic potential, this is a system, again, that has shown rotation, and it should be respected a little bit more than, of course, the other ones. It's the straight rain shower. So again, right now, we do have an active tornado warning, which again is why we're not in your news portion of the Sunday morning show. But this is, again, it's a dangerous situation. We want to make sure that everyone is safe and in their safe spot as this system, again, continues to work its way northward. Now, the good news is this broadening circulation does look like it is trying to weaken, but I would hesitate to say that it is weak enough to bring down that tornado warning. We are still clearly seeing a couplet there, which indicates that there is still potential spin down at ground level. Here is Aurora. Again, those of you watching on the eastern side of Aurora, a little bit closer to that circulation, please get into your safe spot if you haven't done so already. Those of you, again, already in your safe spot on the south side of Highway 33, give it another 5 minutes or so, and then this system, again, will be clear of you, and we'll give you the all clear to come out and, well, get back to your Sunday. But again, do want to highlight some of those areas that are going to, again, be under threat for this system rolling overhead. Get another track on there, again, extending that out a little bit faster than what we actually believe a storm system's forward movement speed is. Rest Haven, 8:54 potential arrival time. For those of you watching in Bath, again, holding at around 9:04 potential arrival time. Beckwith, 9:11. And Slatestone at around 9:25. That's a ways out. And actually, Slatestone, this system, I do want to highlight this. We've got this track that essentially extends straight, but we know with all of these showers and storms, they're actively kind of turning back a little bit closer towards Slatestone than what you may like to hear if you are watching from Slatestone. So this is certainly one that you guys are going to want to pay attention to. Bath for sure. This seems like this system is going to be rolling pretty much right overhead. But the good news is, again, these storm systems, these tornadic systems out of tropical systems tend to be fairly weak and fairly short-lived. But when they are down on the ground, they certainly can create damage. They can bring down trees, they can snap power lines, they can, of course, cause significant damage, especially if you're living in an area or living in a mobile home park. Those are, again, dangerous places to be whenever we're talking about these tornado threats. Going to take another look kind of what we've got moving across the rest of eastern North Carolina, see if we're seeing anything else that looks like rotation. Right now, kind of moving near Oriental is another zone. We've got, again, I'm going to pause this here. This is another one we're going to be keeping an eye on. Right there, we've got that red spot clearly right there, and then a little bit of green trying to, of course, I'm It's terrible at drawing, but again, that is what we are keeping an eye on as far as other systems go. But for right now, the only active warning in eastern North Carolina is that tornado warning across southern Beaufort County, just on the eastern side of Aurora. Let's zoom it in just a little bit further, and you can clearly see again just where that rotation is. But the good news here, here is that green spot, but it really kind of extends all the way down here. So we've got kind of this oblong looking couplet here that really isn't all that clean. Whenever we're talking about rotation, the cleaner the couplet is, not only the more likely is a tornado on the ground, but also the stronger that tornado could possibly be. That clean couplet indicates high efficiency within that wind engine, and that keeps it going. That's something, of course, we don't want to see. So things are certainly trending in the right direction, but again, we do still need to assume that we do have that tornado on the ground. It's approaching the Pamlico River. Right now, let's actually put a distance on it to the Pamlico, giving it about 3 miles, maybe 3-4 miles from the Pamlico River currently. And again, it's going to continue to head on that path, heading towards the Bath area. So again, zooming it out, this is a tornado warning that will be in effect until 9 a.m. Dustin, do we have anything on the site chat about this system and possible other tornado warnings that could potentially be issued within the next 10-15 minutes?
Yeah, so pretty much the National Weather Service is saying, of course, after the strengthening, the couple of scans, the rotation is beginning to weaken a bit, but they're also watching additional possible spin-ups here over the next couple of hours as it continues, the system continues to move and evolve over eastern Carolina. And, you know, we've been talking about all morning, Charlie, we talked about those possible spin-ups and as the circulation continues to go, and people, you know, kind of maybe explain a little more what exactly when they mean, we refer as a spin up. What does that actually mean to folks who are watching us right now?
See, spin up doesn't mean it's actually a tornado on the ground. What it truly means is that there is rotation within a thunderstorm. That's essentially step one if you want to get a tornado on the ground. You need rotation, and then as that rotation lowers, you get a wall cloud forming at the bottom of that cumulonimbus cloud, that thunderstorm. And then that wall cloud turns into a funnel cloud, which eventually comes into contact with the ground to create a tornado. So there's more steps than just, of course, spotting circulation, which is why whenever we see or spot radar indicated rotation, we can't just automatically jump to the assumption that there is a tornado on the ground. Now, whenever we're talking about dangerous situations like this, it's always better to assume the worst and hope for the best. And right now, we need to assume the worst, and that is that we do have a tornado on the ground in Beaufort County, southern Beaufort County. But as the Weather Service mentioned, they are kind of watching the same thing we are, a broadening, a gradual weakening of that circulation, of that spin in the atmosphere. So positive news in that regard. But again, I also want to highlight those of you watching across Pamlico County, I would be prepared again to get into your safe spot as well, because that's where we've seen more of that potential rotation. I know we've been talking a lot about storm systems coming onshore, particularly across the Crystal Coast, but even just rolling over the mouth of the Neuse River is enough to again create that spin potential. You're taking friction in and out of the equation, and that can cause what are really eddies, just small little spins in the atmosphere, and those eddies, given the right conditions, can turn into something a little bit worse. Now, again, gonna zoom that picture in. There you can see the National Weather Service did just tighten that polygon up, that warning zone, tightened it up a little bit. So for those of you, again, watching south of Highway 33 in southern Beaufort County near Aurora, essentially just off to the east of Aurora, you guys are now clear of the system. You can get out of your safe spot. For those of you north of Highway 33 and on the eastern side of Aurora, please stay in your safe spot. You need to be in your safe spot right now. Want to first alert you to this tornado warning heading towards the Bath area. The Bath area right now just on the edge of that tornado warning. It may get there, it may not. Hopefully it does not. But right now, again, here is another look at some of that timing on this system. It could arrive in Bath now 9:07, Rest Haven 8:57, and Beckwith 9:14. Just to put it into perspective, this is a tornado warning that will run until 9 a.m. So we've got another 18 minutes left on this tornado warning. We may, within the next 3 to 5 minutes, hear from the National Weather Service that, okay, the system is broadening, the circulation is broadening, and that no longer looks like a tornado is on the ground. But so long as that tornado warning is active, we need to pretend like there is, again, really assume, not really pretend, assume that there is that tornado on the ground. And this is actually discouraging because while we are, again, seeing this kind of broadening zone right here, we do still have that green spot. That green spot is still fairly close to that red spot, and that's where, again, we have that higher opportunity for spin, for a tornado. So that is kind of the look. That is your couplet right there. We need those two colors to really spread out to indicate a weakening of the system. But mentioned it earlier, these are systems that can put down a tornado. The tornado can come right back up again and then touch down again. So this is going to be a cell we're going to be monitoring through the rest of the morning. Hopefully, again, it's in and out of the east faster than what I know the Weather Service is currently projecting. Just again, we don't want these tornadoes here, or at least potential tornado spawning systems here. But this is another one just to the south of that tornado warned zone. Is another, certainly looks very messy, but still seeing that green and red, those bright colors close together, indicating that potential for rotation. Now again, do want to zoom the picture back out again. Not really seeing anything else that screams spin in the atmosphere. We'll go over and we'll take a look at that system. There again, you can see we've got some green spots fairly close to I'd say that Onslow County, Maysville County line, but nothing again that really shows a couplet. This is more of a line next to each other versus, you know, the two circles next to each other. So going to erase this. We'll get back to, again, the system in Beaufort County, but do want to highlight, you know, for everybody else watching who's wondering, okay, well, I've got thunderstorms over my house right now. Do I need to be worried about a tornado? Currently, no. If you're not watching in southern Beaufort County right now, the tornado danger really isn't there. Now here is another look at that system. We're starting to see these scans roll through. I'm actually going to pull these scans back a little bit, and we can see exactly how this whole system has progressed. We're going to go back in time, essentially. So there you can see it. A little bit broad there, but again, earlier when this system was initially warned, had a very tight couplet compared to what we had been seeing on the radar so far through this morning. And I think that right there, that is a very well-worn system. We've got, again, the green and the red very close to each other. And it was about this time, around 8:26, when the National Weather Service issued that tornado warning. So again, it has been in effect for quite some time. I believe we came on the air at just around 8:30. To again let you know that we do have action right now, but again, that is the 8:27 look. Here is how that whole system has progressed. You notice again the green's not quite as strong and as loud. Good news in that regard. Also the red's starting to spread out a little bit more. That is an indicator that again this whole system is weakening, but it's this back edge that does have me a little concerned. It looks like again we're starting to see another spot of rotation trying to get going. It may be difficult for that section, that potential spin spot to really get going. If that one ahead of it, the actual tornado warned system, does decide to maybe pick up some strength, it will essentially be robbing that secondary system from its energy and kind of using it all up. So here's again another look at what we've got going on right now. Active tornado warning in Beaufort County, southern Beaufort County that is, but it is about to make its pass over the Pamlico River. We'll put about now 2 miles away from the Pamlico River, and we'll get a track on there for you as well. That way we can again get a better idea of timing. Now, this is a system that had been moving north initially at about 20 miles an hour. We continue to overshoot the forward movement speed of this system simply to give everyone at home a little bit more lead time in getting to their safe space. Here's a look at, again, the areas that need to be aware of this system, but maybe not in your safe space as of right now. Those of you, actually, I should also not just talk about the areas who should be in their safe space, but also let people know when they're clear of the system. And those of you watching in eastern Aurora, you guys are now clear of that danger zone. If you want to give it maybe another 3-4 minutes, please do so. Better safe than sorry. But right now it does look like that circulation zone is now up on the northeastern side of Aurora, heading towards the northwest towards Bath. Bath, estimated time of arrival around 9:11, Beckwith around 9:19, and for Alley Goods, looks like 9:35 if that system again can hold together that long. Dustin, what is the latest from the Weather Service?
Really not much. Since we last spoke here, like I said, they're continuing to see the weakening in that cell moving on through. Of course, like we said, this began, 8:26. There was a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Was located near Royal, or 22 miles northeast of James City, moving north at 20. And again, this was a radar indicated rotation of a storm itself. So right now, it looks like the Weather Service is going to continue to let that warning go until it is expired time. If anything else comes about, of course, we'll let you know. But yeah, right now, of course, with these tropical systems, whether if it's a big storm or little storm, Charlie, these things can produce cells real quick and start the signs of that rotation beginning coming out of them.
Absolutely. And again, now want to turn to, this is our reflectivity again, measures rainfall rates, drop sizes, and how fast they're coming down. But also want to highlight just how tall this system is. Whenever we're talking about severe weather, normally we anticipate cloud heights of needing to get to at least 25,000. Usually it's up to about 30,000 feet before we really start to see any sort of severe weather danger out of a thunderstorm. But whenever we're talking about tropical systems, that requirement comes down significantly. And here you can see that right now, most of those raindrops are staying at or below 20,000 feet. That is good news. If we were looking at a higher cloud top, we may end up seeing this tornado warning extended. But because, again, these cloud tops aren't really all that high, that is great news, again, for the potential weakening of that system. But this is a look across eastern North Carolina. This is the only active warning we currently have in the east. Also want to highlight the system across Pamlico County, though, because that is another one we have watched for rotation. And again, just north of Oriental, not a tornado warned system, but certainly one that is trying to spin. Let's zoom it back in on that tornado warned cell. And this is great right now, Dustin, because what we're seeing is that green spot continuing to fade away. Really only have 3 pixels right now that actually show more of a green. And there we just got a fresh scan. And that 3 pixel count just turned to 1 pixel count. So this thing is looking like it is falling apart. The problem is, as it moves over the Pamlico River, we could certainly see this system, because it's going to be changing the ground it is moving over, going from land to water. That again can kick that rotation back up again. It can create a little bit more spin as that system moves over that new medium. So that's certainly something we do have to monitor. We'll see. I think the National Weather Service will likely see how this system really reacts to rolling over the Pamlico River. We may see, again, a waterspout try to form. Regardless of whether or not a waterspout forms, it's really a matter of, is this rotation going to get stronger to the point where when it does move over the north side of Beaufort County, will it have enough strength to again keep that rotation going? Dustin, we've got more details.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, the rotation is looking weaker than when they first issued the warning, and they're unlikely to extend that warning. But they're going to hold it for the current warning to watch, as you mentioned there, as it's beginning to cross the Pamlico River. So the possibility they may let that go further into the Pamlico River community.
Yeah. Right now, again, this system is just looking very broad, exactly what we want to see. Earlier, when this whole system was initially warned, it was clearly a system that had significant rotation in it. Now, whether or not we actually have had a tornado on the ground, that'll be left up to the the National Weather Service survey teams. It will likely go out and survey any potential damage in those areas that, again, this system has moved over. So areas around, really on the east side of Aurora and southern Beaufort County, those are the areas that may get surveyed by the Weather Service team, most likely coming up tomorrow, because today is a Sunday and usually they have a little bit of more of a skeleton staff on the weekends. But regardless, this is a system that is broadening. That is great news. Still certainly worth watching, though, as that tornado warning remains active. It will be active for another 7 minutes unless things really start to devolve again and we see that spin return to this system. But for now, everything is really starting to broaden out. We're not looking at the same sort of danger, not only because the system is broadening out, but also because it's rolling over the Pamlico River. Not really a whole lot of homes on the Pamlico River. Hopefully nobody's doing any boating right now without the weather forecast. If you know anybody who may be out on the water, please be sure to shoot them a text if you know that they don't have the WITN weather app on their phone or smart device, which they should. Be a smart move. But for now, this is a system, again, continuing to slowly deteriorate. We can't completely call it done quite just yet. We will follow the National Weather Service guidance on this one. Expected to see that tornado warning expire by the time we get to around 9 o'clock. Dustin, we got any other details from the Weather Service? Anything as far as other cells go?
I'm not seeing much of anything right now. The potential for maybe a possible watch may be getting issued later on today, just because
a tornado watch,
possibly, potentially, okay. If things continue to evolve as are, it's so then the works, but nothing's been issued with that just yet. Like we mentioned too, just that one lone zone tornado warning that'll continue for another 6 more minutes at this time.
All right, well, yeah, we've got another, looks like a green spot here within that tornado warn zone. Now this, what I'm circling right now, is not the cell in question. This is a secondary zone that looks like we may have a little rotation, but again, similar to what we mentioned earlier, this looks fairly messy compared to what we had earlier. And again, do want to bring back what we had earlier. That way, if you are just joining us and you want to know, okay, well, if it's broad, well, what did it look like beforehand? Here is, again, a look at what it looks like now. If I were to put an estimate on where that rotation would be, it would likely be right in this zone right here. So again, that is the current state of your tornado couplet. Let's reverse this in time, and you can kind of track that back and see just how that whole system is really broadened out over the last several hours. This is a picture by the time we got to around, again, 8:28, and that's a pretty good looking couplet right there. That is certainly one that if I was working at the National Weather Service, I would certainly want to push the tornado warning button on. So kudos to the Weather Service team again for spotting that one. These again are quick hitting systems. They're there 1 minute, they're gone the next. That's just the nature of tropical tornadic systems. They can come out very quickly, they die out very quickly, and they tend to be fairly weak. But even nobody wants to get hit with a tornado. Whether or not it's strong or weak, it will do damage, it will put lives at risk, and it will, again, just make for a massive headache and unfortunate cleanup. It's one that nobody wants to see it, but right now, again, this is certainly a danger that we need to pay attention to. We've got 4 more minutes on this warning. Again, want to zoom the picture out a little bit further and let everybody know, again, what else we've got going on. Here is the center of Chantal. You can see it back kind of currently crossing over. I'm going to circle it right there. You see that spin. Now, most of those heavier showers right now riding just on that north side of that circulation. But this is, again, back where that tornado warning is. So you can see we've got some distance between the center of Chantal and where that tornado warning is, which, again, goes back to our point of just because we aren't taking a direct hit from the center of this storm doesn't mean that we can't face some very dangerous conditions. That's exactly what we've got right now. Let's zoom it in just a little bit closer to again get another look at that system. Oh, now I've gone and fast forward all the way to winds. Right now winds are not the main, well, they are a concern, but it's rotating winds, not sustained winds. Here again is another look at that system as it moves northward. Right now heading towards Bath, but again currently showing a reduced risk of spin potential, and that is encouraging. Dustin, we've got about 3 more minutes left in this system. Does look like again we have another area of concern kind of in that southern tip there. Here you can see, oh, man, the last thing I want to do is another tornado warning, but this is again a dangerous situation. We knew the tropical systems have this potential, and here is another area of potential spin. Now, the National Weather Service has not indicated that this area of spin could potentially receive a warning, but it's certainly one, again, that we are going to continue to watch. So make sure, even as we sign out and head over to the Today Show within the next 2 minutes, that you are aware that we could be back on with more of this tornadic danger through the next several hours. I think we won't see the end of this tornado danger until we get to around maybe 4 p.m. coming up later on this afternoon. What we're really keeping an eye on is those bands of storms that are moving onshore, moving northward. Now, I know that onshore, usually we think the immediate coastline, but even the mouths of our rivers can create spin. We saw that with this system as it moved over the mouth of the Neuse River and over Pamlico County. That spin was enhanced as it moved by Bayboro, and by the time it reached into southern Beaufort County, it was again a tornado warned cell. So that again is highlighting just how fast these things can really get going. But as we just showed you, they can fall apart fairly quickly as well. So it's a double-edged sword. We need to be aware of it, and this again will remain a danger so long as we do see thunderstorms moving in from the south to the north. Once that thunderstorm threat becomes a little bit more sparse and isolated, our tornado threat will really start to come down a little bit more than where it's at currently, and that is something I know that all of us in the Weather Center cannot wait for that to happen, because this is our main danger as far as life is concerned here in eastern North Carolina. This is a dangerous situation. We'll continue to keep an eye on this cell right here, but that is certainly not the cell that sparked this tornado warning. And there you go. We got to 9 o'clock and that warning is now gone. Now we will be back with more of your first alert forecast as we head through the morning if another tornado warning is announced. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful morning. We now turn to the Today Show.